he is talking from that out of the body space with such coherence and humor and beauty. It's an amazing thing. But people who read it, first they read the text, and that's beautiful itself, and then they think, oh yes, it's under nitrous oxide, as if nitrous oxide had any effect at all. He was demonstrating how his consciousness is not in the body.
That's a very good point, because many people, there was so much controversy.
There's controversy over the nitrous oxide because they've used it for their bloody leisure activities. Osho was using it to show that the consciousness of an enlightened master is not in his body.
Did he ever talk specifically about this? Can you say something more about that?
What he would say, he said, at the very beginning when he was using nitrous oxide, he said, I can use the space to give glimpses of what it feels like to be an enlightened master in a way that I wouldn't otherwise be able to speak. He said, the nitrous oxide lifts me out of my body so I can speak from that place to tell people how it is from the enlightened view. I'd have to find the words. It may be in the first notes of a madman. I'd have to go back. But afterwards I was amazed, because it never dawned on me that people would get somehow focused on the nitrous oxide. What's that got to do with it? It's like saying you use pentothal, or you used an anesthetic in his mouth. What's that got to do with anything? Anyway, for me, I could see he was using this elevated out-of-the-body experience to be able to give a whole new view that had never ever been given before by an enlightened master. So, and I could see in the first one, Notes of a Madman, he was like seeing the limits of his perceptions and what and how. And you see, as you read those books, if you read it from that perspective,
and
you will see.
as I recall, Vivek didn't want that stuff to be published.
Well, that's slightly different. You see, that's already 3 years later. But at that moment, where I'm making all of these notes and da-da-da, and much of it, they were comments which at the time were dangerous to Sheila's attempts to get him a permanent residence in America. He was saying things against the US government. He was saying things against the Immigration and Naturalization Services. He was scathing about the American method, you know, about the way of politics. He knew that they were trying to find ways to block him being in America, and he would say things like that. Now, I just wrote whatever he said, and then I knew that when the day came that we had to edit it, that we're going to have to, if this is going to be published, we're going to need to take out the stuff which would be dangerous for him or whatever the situation was at that time. So that's what happened. At the very end, well, 1 year, 1984, Amrito, who'd been giving Osho his medicines, came running into me and said, Geet, where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the book? Now, he hadn't looked at the book for 3 years. So I said, the book is here, a whole trunk full of notes, massive amount of notes. And he said, show me. Osho is asking, where is the book? And I said, here's the book, you know, and we got to edit it. And he starts reading it, and he said, he never said that. And I said, he did. And you know he did, and it was on the tape, and you heard the tape.
So Osho has to be the arbiter.
And we started arguing about every dot, every comma, every paragraph. Now, when Osho had said, Osho, you will be the referee, Amrito and I had never had an argument. I didn't really know him. 2 years later, those words of Osho, you will be the referee, came true. And that I found again and again and again with Osho. He would say things that were completely... The story with Hari Prasad might interest you. It's exactly like this. In Glimpses of a Golden Childhood, he talks about Hari Prasad Chaurasia as this beautiful classical flutist, and how he used to come and visit Osho. Now, when the books had finished and we'd left Rajneeshpuram, I was in London and Hari Prasad was doing a concert there. So I went to see him and tell him what Osho had said. You know, he wouldn't know what Osho had said because the books weren't out yet. So I went to him and said, you know, Osho had said, Bhagwan had said this, Bhagwan had said that. He said, I never met Bhagwan. I said, you've never met Bhagwan? He said, no. He said, he was older than me. Now, in the book, it's as if Chairasya is older than Bhagwan. So I said, well, how did you first meet him? He said, I met him once. I went to, I don't know how to describe it. They have these musical festivals where the great master of music, like the guru, Usted, I think they call it. And he said he would be there with his disciples. And he said it's a very spiritual, musical situation. And he said this boy who became Bhagwan was one of the star pupils. And he was there. And he said, I saw him. I was just a visitor. This is Hari Prasad speaking. He said, I was just a young boy. I was 11. And this boy was 15. And he was already a star musician, a favorite of this Usted, whoever he was, because Osho at one time was a brilliant musician. That's another story. The only reason he stopped music, he used to play the flute, and he had a friend who played the tabla.
I remember the story. And he died.
And he didn't die. Osho swam across the river and said, come and swim across the river. And the boy swam across the river and died because Osho never touched his flute again.
He wrote it somewhere.
Yes.
So he was a musician at the time.
So at this point, Hari Prasad is famous in London. I go to see him and tell him about what Osho has told me about that. Now, what is amazing about that is everything that Osho said, that whenever Hari Prasad is around, he will come and visit me. That's what happened after Osho left his body. Whenever Hari Prasad was in India, he would come to the ashram in Pune and he would give a concert.
Yeah, I remember that.
He never did that before. He didn't know Osho. So it's as if Osho was looking ahead, years ahead. But Osho's view of time, you can't make it a rational thing.
What did you want to ask? Something?
Yeah, no, I've seen that many times, that things, our whole company, everything seems to be, how things are developing, seems to be already, he knew that as a seed,
yes.
He gave us a name,
yes.
what we were all doing, because many things
he could see, yes.
Yeah.
He knew all that.
Yes.
He knew that we were sitting here
today
together and
yes.
talking about this book project. He knew this whole thing is
well,
already over.
that, you see, I don't know
it's
that.
No, it is. He told us one time. He said it has already happened.
Certain things that just happened already, and we are just following this.
We're following a path that he has opened for us.
No. So my question was, when you did all these sessions there on the ranch,
yes,
with that
nitrous oxide,
and these books were coming out of it, were they still dental sessions? Was it still dental work?
Yes,
or they were
yes,
just,
no, always.
Because you said they were
Always.
Always.
2 hours
No.
session, that's very long.
No, don't get it wrong. He would have a dental session and I would do my dental treatment, and at the end of the dental treatment I'd say, the dentistry is finished, Bhagwan. He would then say, now is my time. And then he would start talking. Sometimes for an hour, sometimes for 2 hours, sometimes even longer. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes...
With the laughing, that's the thing, what's still on.
Yeah, always.
Always.
In
It
Rajneeshpuram.
lasts so long, I don't know.
In yeah, I had tanks.
Say, other people will last no more than a few minutes, and
Yeah.
for him, he can stay
It went on for hours.
For hours.
Not just hours, in the morning and the evening. Sometimes it was like, I think it was the maximum we did 2 sessions, but It would go on for hours.
And for normal other people could never stand so long.
Impossible.
Impossible.
And at that time, he was not talking in public. He was
No, he was not in public. Yeah, it was as if all these words had to come out. They were just.
So that was really actually
Yes.
amazing that he did all this. Was
It's
the
not
secret
just amazing, it's completely unique.
unique?
It cannot happen.
So now go back because we're losing ourselves.
Yeah.
The story with you and Amrito discussing every sentence was wrong.
So at this
and then
point,
Osho.
so I've got this stack of notes and Amrita saying, he's asking, where's the book, where's the book? And I said, yeah. And then we start fighting and then we start putting it together chapter by chapter by chapter. And at the end of 1984, we've got this stack of notes and it falls into 3 obvious books. And we didn't have titles. So we then sent a note through Vivek and said, the books have been edited now, and because we didn't know if he wanted to read them. He never read anything that that he said. So he said, no, you choose titles. So The Glimpses of a Golden Childhood was obvious because he had said that. The books I have loved was obvious. Now with the other one, Om Mani Padme Hum and all those other things, so we're writing down, we had about 19 different possibilities of titles. Vivek comes in and she says, I don't know why you're bothering. Nobody's going to read this fucking rubbish. They're just the notes of a fucking madman.
She said like that.
She said exactly that. She was furious. She hated this intimacy that she considered was hers. And we were there taking her intimacy. And she was, in those dental
Did
sessions...
Osho heard her say this?
No, she's in our bedroom at this point. So at this point, I write down, because I'm writing down the titles, I write down Notes of a Madman, and that's the one he chose.
Still, you didn't say the story when you and Amrito were kind of every comma,
Every dot, every comma, every paragraph.
And then comes a prophecy that he said before that Osho will be the referee.
Well, what happened was, it wasn't so much that she was the referee, but it was much more that we were fighting. And
it never happened before, you said.
Never happened before. I'd never had any fights with him. He was doing his thing, I'm doing my thing.
So when he said, this is not like this, and you say, yes, it's like this, then what happened?
So what happened was we would argue. Now, I don't know if you've ever argued with Amrito. It's like arguing with a machine, and he loves arguing and using it in a way.
The more you finish.
He would use his argument in a way, he would reduce me to tears. I would be literally in tears, and he would be completely amazed. Why are you so upset, Devageet? What's wrong? I couldn't tell him the effect of his angry words about this beautiful work that we were doing together, and he would attack me about it. But as far as he was concerned, he's just talking about paragraphs. It was as if he didn't have a fucking heart. At that time, I would say, you don't even understand. I come from a different planet to you. I said, I've got something that can feel. Right now, you're talking about words. I'm talking about feelings. It's as if we're from different planets. Anyway, that was our personal thing. But we were still friends. But what I learned from that situation was that my way of writing it and his way of writing it, when I put them together, my punctuation and my paragraph and his, I realized that I could enjoy his. He couldn't enjoy mine, but I could enjoy his. So I dropped mine. I would go along with him to the point where I felt, yes, that's okay. In other words, I let him be the editor. And I just dropped that part of my ego, finished. Mainly because it was so painful for me.
But he just edited, he didn't change.
No, nothing was changed. We never changed anything. Amrita was fanatic about not changing anything. He still is.